Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Hanging with Miss Spear. We have a super cool thing that we are going to do today. My kiddos got a microscope recently, so I'm going to kind of show you some of the cool things it does. We've got to test it out quite a bit and look at different skin samples and some different samples and plants and hair follicles, all sorts of things. So I'm going to kind of talk about what those are. I'm able to move this and show you on the screen what the thing is we're looking at too, so it should be good. Before I get started, I would like to showcase two more students. I would like to showcase, Isabel and Kaden. Isabel, I loved having you in my class. You had the sweetest smile, you were the hardest worker, and I miss you very much. Kaden, I miss seeing you every day. You will always be able to bring a smile to my day. I miss your fun sense of humor. I hope you guys are doing well, and I think about you all the time. All right, without further ado, I would like to go ahead and get started with our microscope. First thing I want to do is I pulled a hair out of my daughter's head, and I went ahead and zoomed in on it to show you what it looked like. This is a hair follicle. I think you guys can see it pretty good right here. That's what a hair follicle looks like when it's under the microscope. So pretty nifty, I thought. So that's what a hair follicle looks like. Before I get started with all of these, I kind of wanted the camera down a little bit so you could see some of the samples. We're going to look at some body samples, then we're going to look at some plant samples, and then we have some authentic samples from our house that we're going to also look at under the microscope. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit about the microscope and where it originated from and everything. First of all, a microscope is just a device that's able to magnify microscopic or really little things. It makes it so you're able to see them. So that's all a microscope does. The first microscopes were invented in the late, the 1590s, and that's pretty much it. There's very, very different types of microscopes. They've evolved quite a bit through the ages. They started to be just only having one lens, and then they moved on to two lens and are known as compound microscopes. Let's see, the first microscopes were light on light to view, and they were called optical microscopes. There's just some interesting kind of facts about microscopes back in the day. Not even microscopes, before life before microscopes. A long time ago, before there were microscopes, when people were ill, they thought that there might be poisonous gases that they ingested, or breathed in, or they thought that they were possessed by evil spirits when illnesses would hit them. So after microscopes, they were able to see, oh no, it's just viruses and bacteria and stuff. So that kind of got rid of that myth. The very first microscopes that were out were used to study insects. And what they would do, they would study insects, and the microscopes themselves were actually nicknamed flea glasses. So instead of the microscope, it was called flea glasses, which I thought was pretty fascinating. In 1665, someone named Robert Hooke published a book that included images of hand-drawn microscopic images. So what he would do is he would look at images under the microscopes, and instead of having photographs of it, he would actually hand draw what they look like under the microscopes, which is pretty nifty. Quite a bit. I think those are all the ones I really thought that were super fascinating facts. Microscopes are used for a variety of things throughout the world still today. They're very, very important in science, but they're used for medical purposes, to diagnose illnesses, that's in animals and in people. They are used for biology research, scientific research, medical research, and environmental science research. So microscopes are very, very important in the sciences and everything, and I think they're pretty nifty too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our microscope. Like I said, this is a hair follicle. Now, it takes a little bit to get the microscope in focus when I do these things. So I'll say what the thing is, and I'm going to have to get it in focus a little bit, and then I will show you guys what it looks like after we do it. Okay, so that was the hair sample. So I'm gonna take that off and put it down here. Okay, I'll lower it. Yeah, you can see me as I lower it. I don't really think the camera will turn, not too close so you can see. It's a very cool thing, but I don't think it'll turn that way. Let's look at the plant stoma. This is part of the plant. Let's look at our plant things first. This right here is our plant, so let me get it in where it needs to be. Oh, I almost got it. I'm gonna make a higher magnification. My son taught me how to get to a higher magnification. when I was working on this first. It was pretty neat. You guys see more with a better magnification. These take a while. They're pretty cool, but they do take a while. This video will be like 1 million years old or long if I take forever to do all of them. There we go. Almost got it. Beautiful. There we go. This right here, make sure you're able to see, it's really cool looking. This right here is a plant stoma. You guys see that? Kind of neat. I can scoop up a little bit closer so you can see with the cameras all the green and stuff in it. It's pretty cool. That's the plant stoma. Kind of looks like a SpongeBob background. All right, let's do a plant root tip. Let's do a plant root tip. Oh, by the way, these slides on them, when you pick up a slide, you want to be very careful. I've learned this the hard way several times. Don't want to put fingerprints where the specimen is. You want to only pick it up from the corners, because I've gotten lots of images with my fingerprints in them because, well, I pick them up and I touch the wrong thing. So you slide them in there, they're put on glass, and let's see if this guy will come in focus. Oh, that was really fast, okay. Right here, this is a plant root tip. You guys see that? It's a plant root tip. Moving right along, kind of got it ready to be. Let's do seaweed. Let's get this where it needs to be. Nope. Looking. It's got a lot of pink in it, which is weird. I would not have thought that. This right here is bits of seaweed. You guys see that right there? See the pink lines through it and stuff? It's seaweed. All right. What do we do? A few of those. Let's do some bodily stuff. This is part of a spinal cord. Oh, by the way, I got some samples that are pre-made, and so I didn't like go fetch a spinal cord stuff out of anyone. This is for science stuff. I bought them. All right. Yeah, there we go. This guy's pretty neat. Make sure I get all the little pieces in there. This right here is spinal cord. You guys check that out and see that? Pretty crazy, isn't it? Let's try a skin gland with sweat. We actually did this at home too. I got someone's sweat and we compared it with this one and it looked almost identical. It just didn't have the red tint to it. All right, this one's almost ready. Yep. All right. There we go. Make sure it stays focused. Right here. This is a skin gland. That's what your skin glands look like. Okay. Let's do kidney and then stomach, or maybe skeletal muscle. Let's do skeletal muscle. Yeah, this is pretty nifty. This kind of reminds me of a hair follicle. There we go. This is skeletal muscle. That's what skeletal muscle looks like. Let's do one more. Let's do kidney. Let's do kidney. Kidney or stomach? Let's do kidney. All right. All right, let me move this over. There it is. Look at that. is spinal cord. So it has a lot more red tints to it. This is kidneys, right there. Pretty wicked, isn't it? Awesome. All right, now for the last few that we're gonna do, we are going to do 3 super gross ones that we collected at our house from unnamed specimens, except the cats. Okay. The first one we have is snot. Someone blew their nose in a tissue, and we were able to scrape a piece of snot off the tissue. So this is snot. Let's get this where it needs to be. All right. This might take a little bit because these are, I don't have just a little bit of sample. Let's get this lined up right there. There we go. We're getting there. This might be better on I might try a lower setting for this. Might show a little bit better. Oh, and when I collected these, obviously I did it in a sterile environment, and I used gloves. Don't try this at home. And you have to have a participant who's willing to help out as well, obviously. There we go. That's a good one. No, I'm pretty sure it's my fingerprint. Dang it. Okay, take it back. We're going to a higher setting. You gotta be patient when you're using a microscope because it takes a while to focus in. I will say this is way cooler than my one at school. There we go. I have one at school. Oh, that's nice and gross. I have one at school that I love, but it's an older one. It doesn't have the screen or anything. It takes a while to focus. Here we go. This is what a booger looks like under a microscope. Pretty gross, isn't it? Can you guys see that pretty well? All the different colors in it. All right. And we have 2 more. One is pus. We had a volunteer give us some pus, so there we go. Pus on this slide. There we go. Let's get this raised up a bit. That was pretty quick. Okay, right there. Yeah, it's a pus. That's what it looks like under a microscope. And then last but not least, this is courtesy of the cats and their litter box. We got a poop sample. So you can see what poop looks like under the microscope. I will say, if you want to be a veterinarian when you grow up, you might want to pay close attention because I do know that veterinarians do have to look at poop samples inside of animals to see if they're healthy, to see if they have any issues or anything. So if a veterinarian is in your career, like, I don't know, you're wanting to be one, you might want to pay close attention to see what it looks like. And honestly, it looks close to like a booger. That's what it reminds me of. There we go. Right about, yeah, I can get a better one than that. Come on, did you die? Don't die. Oh no, I'm shutting power off. There we go. Well, having technical difficulties. Let's see. There we go. Got it back. Lower this down a little bit. Raise it up. Sorry, this one's taking a while. Like, shut the microscope off and then turn it back on. There we go. Just scoot it over just a little bit. Perfect, okay. This is what poo looks like. It probably looks like what you thought it looked like. It looks like just poop up close, magnifying. That is a poo sample. That's what poo looks like under the microscope. All right. Those are all the samples we're going to show today. That way I don't spend, good gosh, 15 minutes already and we just wanted a few samples. Microscopes are really fun to look at things. I've looked at dandelion petals. I've looked at grass outside, all different things. It's really fun to compare the living organisms like the animals and everything compared to the other living organisms that are plants. It's really fun to compare the different things under the microscope. So if you have access to a microscope, it's pretty cool. If not, I hope you got something out of this video. Well, I miss you guys very much and I love you dearly.